It can be seen at this stage that all my conclusions are formulated on the premise that rationalism ultimately destroys itself through its own irrationality. We can actually prove this by utilising a sequential thought process for the elimination of supposed fact. Now, I term this systemised regression for convenience sake. So, let us all in the Courtauld Institute go into the future. And we shall go into the future by using reason. A. History proves that war is an integral part of human existence. B. The intellect neither alters nor detracts from the fact that man is an aggressive and predatory beast. C. The application of both intellect and science is therefore inevitably employed for the purposes of tribal dominance. D. The continual perfection and development of C, which is the application of both intellect and science, the perfection and development of this through time, for example, the Industrial Revolution, rapidly evolving research, etc., government funded, invariably culminates in super weapons of total annihilation. The opposing bodies of governments that license such production become aware of the catastrophic implications of these instruments. Mutually assured destruction, mad, and subsequently justify their deployment on the basis of deterrence. Now, at this moment in time, we are precisely at E. I shall explain E. Weapon stockpiles increase at an alarming rate, and similarly, so do the law of averages for human or technological error. Coupled with conflicting ideological, economic and strategic gestures. And I warn you that the Zionists believe that it will come 6 months after a major peace agreement. It's rubbish. So weapon stockpiles increase at an alarming rate, and similarly so do the law of averages for human or technological error, coupled with conflicting ideological, economic and strategic gestures, the logical result of which would be F. An eventual thermonuclear exchange, destroying approximately 93% of the global population. Now, statistics assimilate that total extinction is still highly unlikely. So, the surviving 7% will be distributed between 1. Government fallout shelters containing sophisticated ecosystems, and 2. Small islands of people scattered across the underpopulated regions of the southern hemisphere. Now, G, these two modes of existence both rapidly transformed from their former condition by being psychologically and physically exposed to extreme changes. Logical. H. The former group 1, being subjugated to a confined subterranean existence in a regimental fashion necessary for its own maintenance, it is logical to conclude that with restricted natural resources taken into consideration, barbarianism, cannibalism, and separate factions would occur over an extended period of time. Now, in the long term, we can see that the psychological aftermath of such repetitious brutality would ensure a complete nullification of all previous remnants of reason. More importantly, the memory of the former civilization would revert to mythological status. I. The letter I. I. The latter group, 2, reduced to a far baser level of civilization, irradiated food, absence of energy, medicine, function in ecosystems, etc., will have inevitably experienced atrocities to the extent that their emotions will have been hardened to the point of tranquility. Now, this in conjunction with the effect of radioactive substances that appear to induce a modification of the genes in certain individuals could support recent medical disclosures that if the protein in the gene is slightly affected, it can no longer produce certain acids which cause us to feel anxiety. Similarly, we are forced to admit that over an extended period of time, undetectable mutation would develop, giving us a terrestrial being of a conscious vertebrate type that is physically, spiritually, psychologically, and fundamentally alien to our present condition. Again, the memory of the former civilization, which is the one you and I are sitting in now, would revert to mythological or legendary status. I haven't finished. Letter J for joke. In both cases, the creation of a new humanity occurs at the diminishing point of the age of reason. In both cases, though more significantly in the latter, man reaches a state that epitomizes freedom in its most objective context. In both cases, the memory of the former civilization reverts to legendary status. Now, in these examples, we can observe that the product of rationalism has created the perfect climate for the birth of a magical age, or an irrational interpretation of existence, if you like. Simultaneously, with a rudimentary equation of this process, we cancel out the necessity of the equation, and it subsequently disintegrates into nothingness. I will demonstrate. The existence of reason plus the exclusive enhancement of reason equals the eventual and sudden breakdown of reason, which equals the creation of its antithesis, which is a magical interpretation of existence.